Hi guys, welcome to the Darkness channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I went back down to the shore and moved on in the same direction that I had been going before, more than once tripping over fallen branches and stones, almost falling into the damn lake itself. I looked back out over the water. I could still clearly see the cabin way back there. It looked perfectly peaceful from here, but I knew better by now. I turned my head to move on and got the wind completely knocked out of me. There, right in front of me, it stood, the goddamn cabin. I looked back behind me again. A mist lay over the lake, blocking the view. Other than that, nothing but woods. I just saw the fucking cabin behind me, and now here it is. As if I had run a full circle around the lake and come up to it from the right-hand side. I could feel my sanity go. I'm losing it. Shit, like this can't be real. I must have crashed my car on the way up here and ended up in a coma or something. And this is all a dream. Yes, that's it. This is all a dream. This is not happening. Reality doesn't work this way. I didn't know if this is in fact was what happening, but somewhere, somehow, it gave me a small moment of relief. The thought that this might all be some kind of messed up dream. After all, what was more likely, more probable? That I somehow had ended up in what I only could describe as a haunted cabin, or that it was all in my head. Occam's razor and all that? The simplest solution is almost always correct. Almost always. I had no choice but to go back into the cabin for the second time since the world turned to absolute shit. I was so cold, my teeth hammering against each other like a jackhammer trying to reach the center of the earth. My clothes were by this point more water than fabric. I got back in through the kitchen door and closed it behind me. I carefully looked around. No one in the kitchen. The hatch was closed, empty in the living room, bathroom, and bedroom. The painting looked normal again. Front door still locked. The typewriter was still. I walked over to it again. The paper was blank. There was nothing written on it. Coma. Dream, I thought. It must be. Either that, or I am truly losing my mind. I sat down in the couch again with a loud sigh and poured myself another drink. The fire was still going. It felt good. I discarded my soaking wet jacket on the floor and could feel myself calm down a bit. I glanced over at the table and saw the diary still laying there. I grabbed it and kept on reading. I just can't see another way out. I don't know what happened if she catches you. I don't want to know. All I know is that I've been here for 3 days now, and I can't get out. I've tried getting to the main road. I've tried running out into the woods. I've even tried swimming over the fucking lake. No matter what I try, I always end up right back here at the cabin. This place is cursed. I even tried to burn it to the ground, but the fire wouldn't take. It's a goddamn wooden cabin, and the fire wouldn't take. God damn it. I'm writing this as a warning, but I don't know if it will make any difference. On my last day here, today, I found a diary myself, written by the last owner, with a warning for me, or for whoever would have found it. Poor guy before me couldn't take it either. He had ended his stay here and on this earth by going out into the lake to drown himself. I think hanging probably is faster. If I only had a gun, I could end it in a second. I truly hope no one needs to read this, but if you do, I'm so sorry. I laid the book down and stared into the fire. If this really is a dream or a coma, maybe I need to die here to wake up in a hospital? Either way, I can't take my more of this. The panic slowly started to return. I could feel tears rolling down my cheeks. It's not like I would be missed. Sure, they would have a moment at work, say a few things about me, but that's it. I don't have any family, no girlfriend or wife, no kids. I have to try. I have to try to die so that I can live again. If this really is a dream, maybe it's my only way out. As soon as I had made up my mind, the old radio started to crackle and the dial lit up in a sickly yellowish light. The needle of the dial slowly moving back and forth through the frequencies all by itself. A voice in the distance behind the static. No, you are mine. You have signed a contract. You will not bereft me of what I own. You belong to me. A loud bang on the door. The handle started to wiggle furiously. I stood up in panic, staring at the door, then at the radio. The dial now flying back and forth in a manic speed. And the room from nowhere burst with loud white noise. I ran to the kitchen, grabbed the oil lamp and opened the hatch and went down. I tried to barricade it so that you couldn't open it from the other side. All I found was some rope. I tied it to the hatch and secured it to the staircase and went down. I started to look around. I didn't know for what. I glanced back up at the rope. Was it enough? I stopped and looked. There was a sturdy beam in the ceiling. Yes, I will follow the last guy here. But first, I went through the drawers and after a while found this book, this empty diary. I had to write this down. This is my warning to you, whoever you are. This is my goodbye. Maybe I'll wake up somewhere in a hospital bed with tubes coming out of me and machines all around. Maybe not. I just can't take it anymore. I have to chance it. I'm writing this. I can hear screaming coming from the white noise upstairs. I can hear furniture being thrown. I need to end this now, before she gets to me. I'm using the rope from the hatch, and I'm hanging myself on that beam. I had you never have to read this, but I'm leaving the book in a plain sight on the desk down here. Goodbye. Silence? Was I dead? I opened my eyes. I was laying on the dirt floor, rope around my neck. My head hurt. Blood was dripping into my eye. What happened? I tried to get up, but I was pinned down. I had tried to hang myself, but the beam had broken and knocked me out. It looked like the back of the room was about to cave in. I managed to get out from under the beam and sat up on my knees. I couldn't breathe. I loosened the noose from around my neck and toasted it to the floor, breathing hard and deep. The beam had knocked over one of the bookshelves. There was something behind it. What was that? A room? I managed to stand up and limped over to the bookshelf, still standing up and leaned against it. The oil lamp was still burning on the desk. I took it and moved closer to the opening. I had to push the heavy shelf to the side to be able to slide in behind it. I entered the hidden space and held up the lamp to illuminate my surroundings. What was that in the back of the room? It looked an altar. A big stone altar. Bowls with something in it. It looked like dried up blood mixed with some other stuff. The smell was nauseating. I felt like throwing up. The walls were covered in weird symbols and sigils. In the center of the altar, there was another book. It looked like it was bound by small patches of leather. Was it leather? It almost felt like skin. There was a symbol on the front of an eye and a crescent moon. It looked like it had been burned into the skin. I opened the book. It was covered in text I couldn't read, but somehow I knew what this book was connected to all what was happening. Maybe if I destroy it. I grabbed it and limped back out to the dirt cellar and up the staircase. There were still no sounds coming from up there. I tried to move as quiet as I could up the stair and through the hatch. As soon as I had come up, I started to feel sick. I wanted to throw up. Everything was spinning. The white noise came back with a vengeance. It was deafening. It was like it was in my head. I could feel blood starting to drip from my ears. I have to destroy this book. That was all I could think of. I got sick in the sink and fell to the ground. Something flew by my head and crashed in wall behind me, a plate. I looked up. The entire shelf on the wall was shaking. Glasses flying off it right at me. I caught one right on my eyebrow. Blood started to pour down my face. I mustered all the strength I had left and started to crawl towards the living room. It felt like I was crawling up a steep hill, like gravity had shifted. I grabbed hold of the wall by the opening and pulled myself closer. The fireplace. I have to throw the book in the fire. I managed to get to the living room but had no strength left. I could barely even breathe. I threw myself on the floor. I had a narrow angle to the fireplace. I saw the painting above it. It had changed again. The forest was burning. The lake looked like it was boiling lava. In the window of the painting, she stood. I could see her clearly now. Her old wrinkly face. Her eyes. Oh my God, her eyes. Poor white eyes. It felt like she was staring into my soul. I turned my head to look over the actual window. There she stood, her back to me. She slowly turned her head towards me. This was it. I had one chance, or I would be here to do it as she pleased. I aimed, still lying down, and with the very last of my strength threw the book toward the fire. Time seemed to slow down. It seemed like everything was happening in slow motion. In a blink of an eye, she was over me, hovering in a horizontal position, her eyes just inches from mine. She smelled like death and courage. Her dark, wet, greasy hair covering my face. Her ice cold hand firmly gripping my wrist. I could feel her long yellow nails burying themselves in my skin. I could feel myself dying from the inside when in the corner of my eyes I saw the book disappear into the flames. An ear-piercing screech followed. It felt like the whole cabin imploded. A bright white light and then nothing. I woke up yesterday in the hospital. They say a couple of hikers found me out in the woods at what looked like a camp spot. Apparently, I had been lying there in the middle of a big stone circle, unconscious, dried blood everywhere, torn clothes, bruises all over. I wasn't sure what had happened. I remembered everything, but couldn't even believe it myself. It had to have been a dream, I thought. That was until they came to change my bandage there on my wrist. Was two barely visible scars, a crescent moon and an eye. I don't think I'm out of the woods yet. Thanks for staying till the end. Please subscribe for more stories.